So I guess I've been going all around it, all about it wrong, making a movie series that nobody watches. I guess I should have one of these stupid podcasts which comments on everything and tells you what the conspiracies are. The conspiracy is the truth. The truth is conspiracy. The lie has to fit the truth. So I forget how it goes. The lie has to fit the truth so that you are fooled that the lie is the truth. Wait a minute, I gotta fix that. The lie has to fit the truth so that the truth is not figured out to be a lie. Okay? I was saying to my friend, there's nobody pushing a button to explode these trains. There's nobody pushing a button that brings the space shuttle Challenger down. These things all happen for reasons. They all happen. A lot of the reasons come from people wanting to make more money on projects that are government funded or that are just, to make profit for their share. An example of Challenger, it was a faulty O-ring. It was a very small part. I don't know what it costs or something, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. It's a very small part, but it just destroyed that machine. The Titanic, 15,000 souls perished that day, God rest their souls, because one of the things they did is they ran without the radio on, and they also tried to make up speed at night and didn't have anybody watching out for the icebergs. And also they were very, they said only God could sink the Titanic. So God makes icebergs. So I guess that's what happens. The levees and the dams at around New Orleans pre-Katrina, they skimped on the materials. They didn't. There's this song, this music. It all says it. They should have made them, 3 feet higher. They should have made them with stronger, footings and everything. All these things are not done because it's profit. It's all about profit. 3 Mile Island almost melted down, New York City, all those years ago because of 3 failures: a pump, someone didn't watch a signal, and something else, And all these things happen, and as I was saying to my friend, the profit takes. Profit is risk. In order to have profit, you have to have risk. So everything's a risk. Investing money is a risk. Going to work each day, driving the highway, meeting a customer, going on Craigslist to buy something that you think you can profit off. It's all a risk. It's all a risk, and it depends if you want to take the risk. So, there's just the problem is that there's too many, there's too much people in society that are going to use this, this easy money to scam you. Family member's sister got scammed. I mean, it's just crazy. And we think there's going to be an easy way to make the money, and the easy way to make the money is to scam other people who think they're going to make the easy money so you can make the easy money. So, it's all a scam, and it's all, people not wanting to work for what they have, not wanting to stay with that job, not wanting to stay with that company. Not wanting to stay with even their own goals and ideas and visions, and suffering, living in their truck or living, on the couch in the family's thing, to continue with their writing, to continue with their stories. But, every time we say it's a conspiracy, it is. But that's the truth of it. It's conspired against the little people, and it's just the fucking way it's always been. And I mean, it's no amazing thing, whether you're, a slave from Africa, or if you're a slave from, Indonesia, or if you're a slave in Indonesia or in China, or from Ireland, or from Scotland, or from Wales, or from West Virginia, it's all about making money for somebody else. It's just a conundrum of thing. But the point of this story, and I have to edit this because it's too long and rambling, is that the conspiracy is against the people. It always has been. Whether they were Egyptian slaves, whether they were Mesopotamians, whether they were Iranians or Persians, or the German Empire, the Genghis Khan. It's always been that way, and it's to build up a small oligarchy that controls it, and they just have this line, and they only care about their families, and it's a horrible way to be, and it's sad. It doesn't follow any of the traditions of the Christ tradition or any of the other traditions. And technically, we don't need to live like this. We should all be able to live in a much better way, and an easier way, and a more holistic way. And unfortunately, we don't do that. And we're impressed and stressed by things. And, if you're concerned about, chemical toxins derailing trains or planes or wherever, don't use chemicals that are toxic. Don't use gasoline. You know, don't use fossil fuels. Don't use plastic. Plastics are made out of fossil fuels. Don't use those things. I was expressing stupid stuff, but these people are like, cut down on greenhouse gases, get rid of straws and all this other things. Well, A, straws used to be made out of paper a long time ago, and B, we're just such a wasteful society. I cannot. I have a theory like if you can't make it in your garage, you shouldn't throw it away. I'll give you an example. Camping in my truck, right? I'm doing that till I get the part that I need, the computer that I need to make the truck run, and then at least I can get to other places and work and stuff. So I'm living in my truck. So I'm very comfortable here. I'm on my family's farm. It's a young farm, and they need work. I need to cut my finger on a pan actually today. Washing a pan. So anyways, I was saying to Kate last night, I was saying, I've got these two 24-ounce pickle jars from Food Lion's pickle jars, the standard pickle top, and I reuse them. And what I do is I use them at night to urinate in. And when you're somewhere, you don't want to, guys, whip it out the thing, and so you carefully and you urinate in and whatever, and make sure you don't dibble dabble bubble, and then I throw them out. I throw the water out. So here's the thing about resources. I've used these jars to say, even if I only use them 10 times or 30 times or 50 times or 40 times or 20 times, or even twice, I've doubled the use of that glass, okay, until it breaks and I can't use it anymore or whatever. And as far as urine goes, when I splash it out and it goes back into the earth, especially, if it's raining or something, or, it goes down the drain or whatever, in the sewer, I've saved a gallon of water. For each 24 ounces or less of urine, somebody flushes the toilet, that's a gallon plus of water to go out. Even if you're conservative, you're still throwing a lot of water down there. So it's a stupid little thing how someone living in a more holistic or frontier kind of way, or whatever you want to call it, is actually conserving the resources of the planet. And it's not so I can be a millionaire, it's just so I don't have to, so I can do the things I want to do and don't have to be a slave to the 9 to 5 and whatever, So there's a lot of thoughts in that make it's not a healthy lifestyle. I have another friend who was very concerned that I was smoking cigarettes, and she said, "Well, you weren't honest in your profile when you said." I said, "Well, maybe I was quitting then. Maybe I wanted to quit then. Maybe when I wrote that profile, I hadn't been smoking, and I was proud of the self that I quit, so I took it off my profile." But then, she says, "Oh, people die from that," and I found out that she had high blood pressure, and my blood pressure, thank God, it's always been right on the money, except when I blow a gasket when I get upset. But then it goes up. But my blood pressure is always good at my age. It's a good thing. I don't have any medicine. She takes medicine, and I looked up statistics on blood pressure deaths and hypertension, I guess I call it. And there's a lot more of them than there are people dying of lung cancer. So that doesn't mean it makes it good. Cigarette smoking is a nasty, filthy habit. But our focus becomes one cancer, whether it's breast cancer or whatever. There are tens of thousands, 60,000, 40,000, 4,000 different kinds of cancer. Every time I meet somebody again, I hear a different kind of cancer. And cancer is the problem, and we won't, it just goes back to the profit thing. We won't solve this problem with cancer because there's too much money to be made in it. Just like addiction or whatever, and even in these organizations that are trying to help, they may start out with a good premise to help the people or whatever, but, in a sense, they don't, because they're just wasting a lot of money on a system of doing things which is not sustainable, okay? So, it's a long story, and I need to trim this beard. Cool beans.